The return of Kwame Poku to Asante Kotoko, he scored that overhead kick as Asante Kotoko won their game. And Heartful also winning. So match day 21, we'll still keep an eye on both teams to see if they can win their games going into the big one, which is the Super Clash. But first off, let's go through all the fixtures coming up in match day 21. A lot of games to look forward to because we know that there will be 3 live games also on TV3 and on TV. Starting on Friday, where we have Nations FC coming up against Mediema. That game is at 3:30 on Friday. Then we have that game between Heart of Lions and Asante Kotoko on Saturday at 3:30 as well. Vision would also come up against Dreams FC at the Nia J Krakow. Then Heart of Folk, for the second time running, will be playing at the University of Ghana Stadium. This time, they are coming up against Bechem United. It's on Sunday and it will be live on TV3 and on TV. There's Karela against Hot United, and Gold Stars would also take on Swedru All Blacks. By the way, Swedru All Blacks have a new manager. He sat here some weeks ago and said he didn't want to go back to club football. I would have to ask him personally what happened. Kasim Mingle is their new head coach. Ediada will be taking on Samatex with Baseka Oli Stars playing Brecum Chelsea. Young Apostles and Wenchi will be playing 11 Wonders, who are rock bottom of the Ghana Premier League table. So let's go through the matches one after the other, and starting off with that Friday game. Nations FC, Frimpong Manso has taken charge. It's been a topsy-turvy time for him. They are coming up against one of the teams that are looking at winning the title, Mediema. Felix, Mediema have made a bold call selling Kamaruddin Mahmoudou, one of their best players, mid-season, and it's strange.
Well, it is not strange if you are playing in the Ghana Premier League. That doesn't offer a lot of monetary, rewards. So when you have a player that is available and you are getting over hundreds of thousands of dollars for him, we are in the game to make money. So I think that for me, it's quite a good deal. And you look at Mediema, they have a very good squad. I think that Kamara leaving won't affect their title, aspirations. They have a lot of quality in the team, and they will clearly get somebody to replace him. A lot of talent available, to Ibrahim Tanko to choose from. So I don't think it will really affect them this season. And like I've been saying, I'm sure they know very well what they are doing. But it is good business, it is good money. And all I can say is I wish him well in Sudan.
Frimpong Manso, not too good with Nations FC. It's not been all rosy. It's not been doom and gloom as well, but it's not been the perfect start that he would have wished for. Now Emmanuel Ano is gone, Shawate is gone, and it looks like the team is light coming up against Mediema.
Very, 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 very light. I don't know how many days we have to the end of the transfer window. I think about 3-4 days to go. Probably they are still in the market looking for replacement, but I still feel that at home, they've been quite good. They've been very, very difficult to beat at home. They haven't lost in their last 5 games at home. So it's going to be a very difficult game for Mediema. For Mediema, what they've done well this season is the fact that they've been picking very good points away from home. If you look at the Ghana Premier League in the last 5 seasons, we started the 18 teams 5 seasons ago. The average point for you to win the league is 62 points. Mediema themselves, when they won it 3 seasons ago, had that same number of points. We have, from today, we have about 17 games to end the season, right? That is about 42 points. They already have 43 points. So if you're looking at 62 points to win the league, it means that they need about 14 more points or 12 points to win the league. So it is quite good for them. They won't be under pressure. And I think that has really helped them in making good use of their travels. Now, when you are not under pressure, it allows you to play your football, and that is what they've done quite well. But I am hoping that nations get to pick the maximum point, because I want to see the league being competitive. But for Mediema, I think per the league table, they are the only team that are safe from relegation.
All the other points already.
Yes, that's the magic number to survive. So
they are already safe.
They are already safe. No, now
so it's about now challenging for the title.
For the title.
So let me go to you, Alfred. You are a coach. How frustrating can it be when you lose your best player within the season when you are challenging for a major title like this?
It happened to Vision. We lost our captain 4 days ago. The game before, I think it happened on Friday and we played her on Sunday.
Is it Asante?
Asante,
So
yeah.
he's gone to which club?
Ethiopia, police.
Okay.
It's good money. You have to look at the business side of it. You need to get something to get the team running and all that. So for me, I think Midiama, they have a good squad. It wouldn't be an headache for the coach at all. He has lots of players at his disposal that he will get some to complement what the one who left did. So I think it wouldn't be much of a problem.
Shaban, the last time Midiama lost the game, it was against Karela. This was last year, I think, somewhere in October. Since then, it's been a perfect run for them. Either they win or they draw. They are going to the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex. How would they fare?
Well, a tough one for Midiama Sporting Club, especially a side playing against a side that is battling relegation. That's Nations FC. I'm saying they are battling relegation because if they lose this fixture possibility, if Young Apostles, Baseke Oli Stars, Bekum Chelsea should record a victory, they are likely to drop to the relegation zone because it's just 24 points, 23 points in the relegation zone. So it's tight for Nations FC going into this fixture. But you spoke about Coach Frimpong Manson struggling. Yes, it's not been that consistent in terms of wins, but he's still unbeaten at home. Obviously, the worst results for Nations FC at home under Frimpong Manson is a draw. But I'm sure we are looking at Nations FC with the eye of last season, where they had most away wins in the league. And so possibly that is the major problem. For Midiama Sporting Club, if they fail to win this game, the chase will be on because we have 3 teams that have 35 points. And the chances that one of them would record a victory, 1 or 2 will record a victory, and that will push that team to 38 points and close the gap to 5. And that makes it more difficult. Don't forget that Midiama's next 5 away matches, there's 3 away matches, and that makes it more difficult for them. They need to be very consistent, resolute in away games. But you talk about players that have left Midiama Sporting Club. I'm looking at like-for-like recruitment done before the transfer deadline. Victor Odro as a right back directly replaces Kamara Dini Mahmoudou. Then the left back, Suleimana Fatau, who is also gone. Desmond Bafo, they signed him from 11-1. They started the season so well. Then they brought in Suleimana. I'm sure they brought Suleimana for marketing purpose because Desmond was playing perfectly. And then they started using Suleimana. Possibly they have gotten what they want because he has a deal now. And that is also a like-for-like deals. Up front, you talk about Abdul Salam. He's still with the team. They brought a lot of players in there. That's Abdul Rahman. They have a lot of the players in the team. In the absence of any player, you have them to start. And so it is not a problem letting go some players like Prince Owusu because even in the midfield, Emmanuel Owusu is injured. They have a lot of them. Fauzi Taylor is available. Salim Adams is performing. At a point, the likes of Kevin Kuma starts. Salam sits on the bench. And then you have their key midfielder who is now outside, Prince Owusu also on the bench. So a big one. But advantage goes for Nations FC, who have 24 points, battling for a win, possibly move up to 27 points after this fixture.
Of course, and it's a big fixture that will be live on TV3 and on your TV on a Friday. A big one there. But let's move to the Saturday fixture. Pando Sports Stadium, Heart of Lions, Asante Kotoko. Alfred, let me start with you. You know Heart of Lions very well because you worked in the Volta region. They started the season on the perfect note. They had gone about 6 games without a defeat. They had won all these games and even drawn some very tight games against the Asante Kotoko, against the likes of Heart of Oak. Then all of a sudden they went 8 games without a win. What is really the problem with Heart of Lions?
For Lions, you cannot tell because...
Daniel Nieje, by the way, was here last week and he says that they don't even know what is really the problem because they train the same way and they go into games with the same confidence, but then things turn out different.
Yeah, when we started the league, lots of teams were struggling. And from week 7, week 8, most of the teams normalized and it became difficult for them. I saw it coming. Either you start well or you don't start well and you end well. So for them to start dropping points, I always knew it was going to happen. And when you look at the squad, they've been together for quite some time now. Some of them have played 2 seasons and 3 seasons. So they are familiar with each other. The fluidity is there. the system that they play, they are used to their coach and everything. So I just think they just need time, and they have to start picking up very quickly, because lots of teams need the points very well, and when they come at you and you don't gather that momentum very well, then you'll be in trouble. So.
Well, Felix, it looks like Asante Kotoko cannot afford to drop points anymore, because their next 3 games are huge. They play Heart of Lions, and they have an FA Cup tie against Adriana before that big game against Heart of Oak. The Pando Sports Stadium can be banana skin for every team. Lions are not playing well, but how does Kotoko approach this game? Because they lost there last season.
I think that they will go into this game feeling very confident in the fact that they were able to get a very good win in their last game, against Holy Stars, and the quality of play and the quality of goals could also be a very huge motivation. And also the fact that Lions themselves have not been playing well. They've only won their last 3 home games. But they can also take confidence from the fact that the Lions then has been one venue that Kotoko always goes and struggle. The last time they won there was 2013, which is almost over a decade and 3 years. So it's going to be a very tough game. And for Lions, anytime they get a very good result at home against Kotoko, the crowd also play a huge part. Already, Kotoko have been to the Volta region this season, and they failed to win against Ho United. So it's going to be a very tough game. It's one of the traditional games when it comes to the Ghana Premier League. But like you said, Kotoko can afford to drop points. In fact, the clubs that are chasing Midiama, they can't afford to drop points at this particular crucial point of the season.
Is this one of the games that Lions can use to, as a source of rejuvenation? Because it's been quiet for some time and the fans are not happy.
I think that this game will probably be the game that Coach Bashir Ford won't have to talk a lot or motivate the boys. This is a self-motivating game. I'm sure the players will know the history behind Kumasi Asante Kotoko and Pando Heart of Lions from the time Yembo Bion back in the FA Cup, and then even in league games at the Pando Sports Stadium. So this game will self-motivate. The players that we are playing against one of the biggest, if not the biggest team in the country. We've been struggling in recent times. We need to bring back the smile on the faces of our supporters. So it's a huge game for Pando Heart of Lions. And I must say that it's a game that I wish I am in Pando. So if you are on Pando, this is a must-watch game.
Both teams are not in danger of being relegated, but it's a game that will have a lot of repercussions on the title. If Asante Kotoko should lose this one, it means, and Mediama win, it means that they put some daylight between themselves and Kotoko. And if Heart of Lions should also win, it will send a statement out there to their fans that, yes, we've not been playing well, but we are back.
Yeah, so let's see if at the end of this analysis, we'll be able to tell which side has the advantage of picking the maximum 3 points. First, this is the league table, and clearly, like Senior Felix Remark said, Kotoko needs this win, depending on Mediama's results. They are likely to close the gap in the Ghana Premier League. That will be 5 points. But if Kotoko should win as well, it is also going to be a big motivation for them in the remaining 13 Premier League games. Again, this is not just the remaining 13 Premier League games. Their next fixture is against Heart of Oak, and this is a morale booster going in for that big fixture. Again, Heart of Lions will need 3 points to be satisfied, to be okay. They have 27 points in the Ghana Premier League. They've not been that consistent in terms of performance. And so with this win, it is also going to encourage them, give them a comfortable seat in the Ghana Premier League. Because if you look at the 25, 25, 25, 24, all these teams are battling relegation. And with 27 points, you are also not safe. You are playing your home game against Kotoko. Your next game will be away. And the chances of losing away game is about 80%. And so you need to give your all going into the home fixtures. Now, let's focus on the data between these two teams. And we'll be able to tell if these two sides are going to give us some wonderful performance. Now, this is Kotoko and Heart of Lions, home and away, since the return of Heart of Lions in the Ghana Premier League. This is 2023-24, and when Heart of Lions returned in the Ghana Premier League. Let me take you back to 2015. It was the last time Lions played in the Ghana Premier League before they were relegated. They lost to Kotoko in the first round. They won the second round 3-1, and then they returned back in the 2023-24, drew against Asante Kotoko away, and then also recorded a 1-0 victory. Then in 2024-25, they beat Asante Kotoko and drew the second leg. Again, this is season, Heart of Lions traveled to Kumasi to pick a point. And so let's look at the factors going into the game. In 2023-24, the first round against Kotoko ended in a draw, and then Heart of Lions won the second leg. And again, the repetition of the scoreline of the 2023-24 scoreline has happened. That's 2025-26. Goalless draw in the first round. Let's see if the statistics of one season, Lions drawing Kotoko, the second round, they winning the second leg, or we are going to see a different thing this time around. Now, Heart of Lions, in about 10 matches played in the Premier League at home this season, they have recorded a total of 6 wins, and they've lost 2 of the fixtures against Midiama and Indiana, and then they've drawn 1 against Karela United. Not a good performance. In fact, in the last 4 home games for Heart of Lions, they've picked just 1 win and 2 losses, 1 draw against Karela, and that's consecutive losses against Midiama and Indiana before their last game at home against 11 Wonders, where they managed to pick a win. And then for Asante Kotoko, they are stragglers away. In the last 7, they've picked just 1 win, and against 11 Wonders. Obviously, it means Kotoko would have to do more to record a victory. Maybe they will pick a motivation from their last away game, which ended goalless draw against BBN Gold Stars. And we all know the history between Kotoko and Gold Stars at the Dance Park. It's Kotoko's advantage, irrespective of the team they have, going to play the Gold Stars setup. And if you look at these statistics, it clearly tells you that since the return of Heart of Lions, Kotoko have never recorded a victory in the Premier League against them. And it's been Heart of Lions' advantage or a draw for Asante Kotoko. Let's see if there's going to be a change this time. But Felix made a point on the 2 teams. And I know, obviously, these players are going to give us something to talk about. And this time
the question I wanted to ask you is that, with Albert Samoa scoring in the last game, would you throw him on from the start if you were Karim Zito?
Obviously, and Felix wants to answer this question.
Felix, would you throw him on?
Yeah, I think so.
Especially after you know that after this game you're playing Adriana, then you have that big one against Heart of Oak.
You clearly want to start your best players in a very difficult game like this. And you look at Albert Hamwa, he was scoring goals for them until he left. And for the past 2 seasons that he's played, for Kumasi Asante Kotoko in the Ghana Premier League, he's been getting them the goal. And what a way to announce your comeback.
Okay. So I would go back to Shaban, but first, Alfred, let me ask you this. If you carry Mzitu, now you have Albert Amua back. Then you have a player in Kwame Poku who has not been playing well, also banging in a goal for you. I mean, scoring in that game for you. How do you manage Kwame Poku and Albert Amua?
It's always going to be a problem, but you have to look at the one who is a super sub, the one who changed the whole dynamics when he comes into the game. It's going to be a headache because Kwame Poku is equally good, Donzu is good, and Albert Amua is good. And Albert just came in, so it depends on what he wants. Maybe he wants to go direct. That's when he will need someone who has height. So that's where Kwame Poku comes in, or Donzu. So it depends on what he wants to do. When he wants to go for the second ball, then he can play Amwa around so that the first one will be the tallest one, then he will pick the second ball.
In a few weeks' time, I could have boldly said it was going to be Albert Amwa and Kwame Poku. But this time, there is a certain Dogo Yakubu who looks to have also sealed a place in the Kotoko team. This is actually a beautiful headache for Karim Zito.
No, not a headache. I'm happy with what I saw in their last game, their last home game against Basake Oli Stars. And I want this to be more open for all of us. Now, I realized that at a point, he allowed all the strikers to enjoy the game. And look, he has about 4 strikers, attackers going to start. Saka Dauda, Peter Amidu, Albert Amwa, Dogo Yakubu. And aside these attackers, he has Inusa Adams as well. And then you can talk about Kwame Poku, Morifin Donsu, also on bench. So you have about 3 key players who are possibly going to have a minute in the game. Because obviously in the second half, if Kwame Poku, if Dogo Yakubu clearly plays about 70 minutes and the goals are not coming, you have to throw in Albert Amwa. And for now, he has a lot of options. Coach has a lot of options, and there will not be any excuse if Kotoko fails to get a goal in a match. But look, some weeks back, we would have been talking about Heart of Lions attack of Chelsea Freeman, Michael Efson, and Kojo Obin Jr. Yes, you have Ataeje. Ataeje is also a good attacker, but it looks like in the past few games they've been struggling. And honestly, Heart of Lions in their last 10 games played in the Ghana Premier League, from match day 11 to match day 20, they've picked just 1 win, and they've lost 6 of their fixtures and drawn 4. That's a bad record for a side that wants to dominate, make impact, show consistency in the Premier League. But there's one thing Bashir Yefo does to criticize these strikers, Chelsea Freeman, Michael Efson, Obin Jr., and this is his problem. They fail to connect all the chances that the team creates, and that is also obvious. We'll look at a video.
I saw their game against 11 Wonders, and they created loads of chances, but they ended up scoring just one.
Yes, and that will have Echedogli switching to the DM role. Boama Kwanzaa. It's not been consistent of late. In the past 5 matches, Boama sometimes starts the game, sometimes from the bench as well. Ishmael Ado as well. Now let's look at Peter Amidu Akwa, Saka Dauda. These are key players in the game. I didn't see much of Peter Amidu Akwa in their last game against Basake Ulistas, but obviously tactical reasons, there are a lot of attackers. Dogo Yakubu has the pace, Abet Amwa with also the pace, and that if you give them the space, they are going to cause a damage. Now it looks like Hubert Jehu is free in the middle because Prince Bedu would give you all the hard work in there. Boama Kwanzaa as well will be in the middle. So you still cannot underrate the team of Heart of Lions. And then for Asante Kotoko, it's obvious that their attackers are going to give you the best of performance. But there's something I want you to pay attention to, and that is Hearts of Lions. And this is the team. We are talking about creating of chances, converting the opportunities. But it looks like they create good chances. They display very well on the field of play. But the final delivery of Heart of Lions is the major problem. And this is a build-up from Ishmael Ado, finds Chelsea Freeman, and he fails to connect, though it was a nice drive from Chelsea Freeman. But it looks like Lions are not a bad side. This is their game against Dreams FC. They possess so well, and this is the problem of Coach Bashir Yefo, failing to connect those begging chances. This is not the duty of the coach. You have to be very smart to convert this.
So Heart of Lions getting numerous chances, not being able to. Felix, you have something to add?
I think that for Lions, if they really want to win the game, there are 2 things I expect them to do. If you watch Kotoko this season, I wish we could go back to the tactical board that Shawan was showing us. If you watch Kotoko this season, what they've been doing quite well is the fact that Hubert Jehu has been the conductor of the team. So what I'm expecting Bashir Yefo to do is Echedogli should stop that kind of conduction from.
Yeah, definitely he would be the one to do the business on Jehu.
And then also I'm expecting a lot of pressure to come on Samba, because if Samba is not under pressure, if they don't press, he has so much time to pick up those long balls and also start attack for them. But then again, the Lions have to worry, because if you look at Dogo Yakubu, one thing I've loved about the young star is the fact that he's very mobile. So at a point, Ebenezer Aban or Robin Hennessy might not know who to pick, whether I'm picking Albert Amwa or I'm picking Dogo Yobo, and that's going to be very, very crucial.
Mutala, if coach starts Kwame Poku, he's not mobile. He's a typical center forward. Albert Amwa is mobile, Dogo Yakubu is mobile, and that is the dangerous aspect of it.
Very dangerous for Heart of Lions, but I'm sure Bashir Hayford would want to win this game to get back to form, because the side have not been playing well of late. But at the University of Ghana Sports Stadium, Masoud Didi Dramani will be back in the dugouts for Heart of Folk. This time they are playing Bichim United. I remember one of the games that Heart of Folk won last season at that stadium, and it was against Bichim United. Heart of Folk scored some brilliant goals. 3 goals for the first time this season. I'm sure the confidence has skyrocketed going into this Bichim game, especially knowing that Bichim have not also played well this season.
Yes, and for Heart of Folk, I think it is good. If you look at their 2 previous games, they've all been at the University of Ghana stadium. They were hoping to pick up 9 points. They've picked 4 out of the 2 that they played. But Heart of Folk major problem we all know has been goal scoring. So for a coach, I'm sure he'll be very happy that in the last game at the same venue, he got 3 goals. If you have to go back to when last Heart of Folk scored 3 goals in the league, that was way back March week 32 against Accra Lions.
I wanted to ask you, is it a case of the strikers not having confidence in themselves, or they are simply not good enough as strikers for Hartlepool? Because these are strikers that we've seen in the Ghana Premier League. Hamza scoring 13 goals in the past. Prince Kwabena goal stars. We saw what he did. But it looks like something is really wrong.
Yeah, I think after the game, Josiah, asked Abdul Karim, what is going on? He said, at training, they score a lot of goals.
I asked him.
Yeah, you were the one who asked him. You scored, but he doesn't
said
understand.
If I see the kind of finishing, who finishing I with training, of
course, there's so much pressure in the actual game itself. I think that, first of all, if you look at Hearts of Oak and their history, the club have been built on good goal scorers. Ishmael Ado, Mahatma Otu, Luis Ajuma, Don Bote, Chastela, Prince Tego, they've been scoring a lot of goals. But Hearts of Oak in the past, 5 seasons have been struggling for goal scorers. I think that they are not finishing well. Because see, if you look at Mauli Wayo's goal against
composure,
there have been several moments where we've had players go into the similar situation and then they overthink. But the chance creation, they are doing quite well. Hearts of Oak, this game is a must-win game for them because after this game, they play Kumasi Asante Kotoko. But what is crucial for them is the fact that should they beat the Hunters, they will have at least a week to prepare for that Kotoko game because Kotoko will be in FA Cup action whilst Hearts of Oak get to rest. So it will be good for them to keep that momentum and win this particular game.
It's a new house under Masoud Didi Dramani. What has changed? Because we saw most of these players playing last season under Ouattara. And it looks like they were all over the place. But this time you can see that there's some kind of composure and assurance with them, especially that back line, which is preventing a lot of teams from scoring.
They have a good coach. The structure in which they play, it shows clearly when you are sitting behind and you are watching. I just think they don't have the kind of players for their system. When you look at Kotoko, they have an all-round team. When you look at Midiama, they have an all-round team. One thing that Haas is not doing too well is, for some years now, they don't have strikers. And they have to look for a scout that will get them those kind of players that they will help the
coach. But they can't sign. And that's the situation.
Yeah. So I think that's one thing that they need to look out for. They are doing so well, but the supply from the midfield to the strikers as well is not top notch. Those days when we were playing against Hasofo, you go to bed and you just panic. There's this fear because you are going to meet the likes of Obedansa and those people. So I don't think it happens now. Everybody that plays Kotoko or Haas now it's rather a self-motivation to you.
But from what you have seen, do you think if Didi Dramani, hindsight, I'm speaking on hindsight, have a good goal scorer, Hearts of Oak would have been higher up the table?
Exactly, that's how I see it. Because,
based on what you've seen from them.
Exactly, because when you see they are good with set pieces, they are resolute at the back, it's very difficult for you to put the ball at the back of their net. So it's going forward. So they are attacking midfielders, they are wingers. I don't think they have their daring wingers, adventurous wingers. They have to look at the width of the pitch, like the wings and the striking aspect.
These days they brought in Henry. But another opportunity for Benjamin Asari to keep a clean sheet against Bechem United. Shaban.
Mutala, I was thinking we were going to ask Coach Alfred that if Hearts of Oak had Albert Amwa, team, what will happen?
Yeah, that is why I asked him if they had a good striker and he has answered.
It would have been a different issue.
Because I think at the back they are very solid. With Ali Mohammed and Osei Asibe. With even the last week it was Amankwa that played, but you have the likes of Amankwa if you also playing Baba Demo. They are very solid at the back. It looks like up front, that is where they are light. And for me, I still don't think that Mauli Wayo is that out and out number 9.
No, it's a winger, typical winger from King Faisal to Gold Stars. We've known Mauli Wayo as a typical winger. Maybe because he's gained experience, he's matured, he's able to add some bit of serious centre forward deals to his performance, and that is why he's getting them the goals. But that is because of experience. But Hearts of Oak would have the advantage to close the gap this weekend. That's 35, possible go to 38 points, and then close the gap to 5 because Mediama is playing a tough away fixture on Friday. But let's look at what will happen. Hearts of Oak against Bechem United. You made mention of Heart of Oak's game against Bechim played at the University of Ghana Stadium last season. Don't forget that it was Heart of Oak's first win in the Premier League last season at home, and that was played against Bechim. They won by 2-0, and that was a game where Ransford Mensah scored from a set piece for the Phobians. Now, this is Heart of Oak Bechim, and 2020-21, 6-1 against Bechim United. It was played at Accra Sports Stadium. Goalless draw 2021-22. And let me take you back again. In the 2020-21, when Heart of Oak beat Bechim 6-1, the return leg, Heart of Oak beat Bechim 1-0 at the Nana Fosuji Abo Park. And I remember Salif Ibrahim scored the final goal, and it was the season when Heart of Oak won the Premier League. In 2021-22, the first leg ended in a goalless draw. The second leg ended goalless draw. And so we'll look at that. In 2022-23, Bechim beat Heart of Oak in the first leg and also recorded victory in the second leg. And then in 2023-24, Heart of Oak won 1-0 and won the return leg 3-2. And then the last one, 2-0 last season for Heart of Oak. And then eventually they failed to win the second leg. But per the statistics we've looked at now, the last 5 matches, it tells you that whoever wins the first leg has the advantage to win the second leg. And point 2, if the first leg ends in a draw, the possibility that the second leg will end in a draw is about 60%. And that is some statistics around the game. But then let's look at Bechim United as a club. We'll look at Heart of Oak at the University of Ghana Stadium. But first, Bechim as a club, they've gone 9 matches winless in the Ghana Premier League away. And so on paper, Bechim is among the teams that are yet to record an away victory in the Ghana Premier League. They've lost 8 of their 9 away fixtures. They've drawn just once, and it was a game that they failed to concede. And the only game Bechim have failed to concede in the Ghana Premier League away against Mediema, goalless draw, and that was their best ever performance in the Premier League this season. Now, for Heart of Oak at the University of Ghana Stadium, if we are linking it to their home games, it's 4 matches, 3 wins, 1 draw. But if you are adding their last game played at the University of Ghana, which was an away game, but played at their home grounds, it makes it 5 games at the University of Ghana, 4 wins, 1 draw, 6 goals scored, and are yet to concede a goal. And if you look at a struggling Bechim United setup, who are going to face an Heart of Oak, who are good side playing at the University of Ghana Stadium, then it tells you that it is going to be tough.
It is going to be extremely tough for Bechim United, because they will need to play above themselves to ensure they win against Heart of Oak. Benjamin Asari, another opportunity. These days, I see you, I mean, the last time you posted a video, and I saw that he came to retweet the video. I mean, he's proven why he's on number 1.
Of course. And you see, I love what he's doing in the Ghana Premier. And thankfully, you know, Adisa Production TV3 is giving him the mileage that he deserves. We always talk about how good Benjamin Asari is when it comes to playing with the ball at his feet. But we've seen how much he contributes to the Heart of Oak attack. Now, a lot of coaches prefer a ball-playing goalkeeper. Asari shot stopping has been excellent, but we are seeing a different side of Asari, which is playing the ball with his feet, and he's done that quite well.
Well, let's see.
We are hoping to see him taking that plane to the US for the World Cup.
Quickly, Shava, let's go through how these teams could set up, especially with Heart of Oak. We know that with Bechim, the likes of Augustine Okra would all be in there.
Yes, Augustine Okra will be playing as a number 10. It looks like now they've switched him to the attacking midfield role, helping his players to perform well. But currently, in the last 3 matches, Augustine Okra has scored in each of the games for Bechim United. Yao Ano, Godfred Yorson, they signed this player from Cheetah and available for the game against Heart of Oak. Emmanuel Aban has assisted 3 times. In fact, the last game for Bechim, he assisted for Augustine Okra to get that important goal. And so Heart of Oak would have to be very careful on Emmanuel Aban. Now, the big problem of Bechim is their defensive setup. Samuel would be having the opportunity to play due to injury situations at the camp at the moment. Baba Moro Abdullahi will miss the game due to accumulation of cars. And so Boat Reagan, who is a versatile player, gets the nod to start. Usually you see him as a right back, he plays as a midfielder, can even start as an attacker. And so he will be starting as a center back. Atta Derek also gets the nod because Yahweh Champon is out of the game. But he spoke about a good setup defensively. And this is the important part of Heart of Oak team. Ali Mohammed Esibe, Baba Adamu, and consistently they are delivering. And sometimes, if Heart of Oak wants to switch to the back four, this is what they do: switch Baba Adamu as a left back, bring Ali, Mohammed, and Esibe as 2 center backs, and bring Amankwa Befi, and they get the back four. If they want to attack more and looking at the loopholes of their opponent, and the Befi joins the attack as a winger, and then they switch to the 3-back system. And so it looks like they have a very good center backs who are giving them a lot of options, and so the coach gets the opportunity to explore more on what he wants to do against his opponent. But this is the attack of Heart of Oak usually, and Paku George is in there. We have Abdul Karim, and then Rafael Amponsan is back again. The last game he got the opportunity to start for the side, and then Hussein, who has been missing some key chances for Heart of Oak of late, but of course, he is a member of the team, creating a lot of chances for the side. Hamza Issa, Mauli Wayo, the last game, Hamza didn't start. It was their striker. They brought him from Vision FC, and he's been struggling of late. But then, of course, the last game he started, but Hamza Issa will get the nod to start this time. And Wayo, currently the top scorer of Heart of Oak, he scored in the Heart of Oak last 2 away games. This fixture is a home game, but he knows everything about the University of Ghana Stadium, and that gives him the advantage.
Why is Shaban not starting my player, Kwada Somesi?
Henry.
Yeah.
He's been one of the standout players for. The first time
is he a booking now? Like, is it suspended?
No, the first time I watched him was against Mediama in Takwa. He came on and he made a lot of difference for.
So Henry Boateng, those who don't know who Kwada
there's a big likelihood that he will start this game. It looks like Didi Dramani really trusts his abilities, and these days he's even playing ahead of Kakari. But he mentioned Vision FC. You are with Vision FC as an assistant coach. You did something magical. You went to Doma, you defeated Adriana. Then I think the following game you got a draw against Samatex. You are coming up against Dreams FC, who are in fine form. I mean, the entry back in the squad, scoring goals for them. But you are playing at the near J. Krakus Sports Stadium. How are you approaching that one?
We are very comfortable playing on the AstroTurf. So it's a home game as well. The fans, they are behind us. So we don't have any excuse. We just have to win that game so that we go to 26. Then we come to 11 Wonders at the University of Ghana Stadium. Then we pick that point as well. So the strategy is to pick 6 points in these 2 games.
What has been the main challenge for your team this season?
We had a lot of 15 years and 16 years in the team. So this second round, we brought in the 20s and the 21s to add to the squad so that there will be the mixture of the young and the old. So that is what is working for us. Communication was always the problem. Someone to tell the kid that let's go, let's keep going, you can do it. So that's what we.
But you've even cashed in on your captain. Isn't Nana Kweku Asante?
Exactly.
One of the best players in the Ghana Premier League. I mean, you're struggling to survive. So why do you sell your best player?
You have to look at the business side as well. We are even planning to sell like 4 or 5 because
you are not even done.
The coaches have 2% in all player sales.
Oh, okay.
So we want to push them. So
Vision is a selling club. That is what you want to say.
Yeah.
Let's move on to Karela. We were talking behind the scenes, and you said if Hoho United should lose that game against Karela, it's going to be very difficult for them to survive. They are playing at the Aliu Muhammad Stadium, Shaban.
Yes, Karela have gone 5 games without a win, and that is why they keep dropping 25 points. They are not safe. Felix Remark said even if you have 30 points, you are still in the relegation zone. And if you have 25 points, if a team with 23 points wins, they go 26. And that will put you down to relegation. So Karela can drop after match day 21 to 15th or 16th in the league table, depending on the results that we are going to have after match day 21. And for Hoho United, you sit home, you drop points, and even against Vision FC, 11 Wonders, Young Apostles, these are sides that if you put pen on paper and you are marking that points you want to amass at home, these are the sides you need to fight hard to beat them. And it took them last minute opportunity to fetch a draw against Vision FC at Hoho Stadium, and that will be difficult. But for Karela, they have no option. 5 matches winless. The last 3, they've lost all games, and they are going back at home, and that will be difficult for Hoho. And look at the points: 20, And if Hawaii fails to win this game, and then we have plus of 3 here, they will need 3 consecutive wins, and we will need 3 consecutive losses
before they can
catch up, and that will be difficult.
Now, your friend, Kasim Mingo, he has taken the Suedo All Blacks job. He is the head coach for the Black Galaxies. He told me some weeks back that he wasn't going to take any club job.
Well,
now he has taken that job.
We're here together with him.
And he is coming up against Karela United. But we are being told that we have a clip of him speaking for the first time after taking the Suedo All Blacks job.
Give me the maximum support that the club needs. I cannot do it alone. I cannot do it alone. They have to support me for us to achieve what we want. And I'm happy to be here with them. And I'm going to cooperate with them for us to achieve the necessary result that we needed.
Kasim Mingo is the head coach of Suedo All Blacks, formerly Bechem United. This season, he's been in the Ghana Premier League. He started with Nations FC before he departed to take on that national team job, and he's back into the Ghana Premier League. For him, his first job is a big task, all the way to Dance Park to face a team that is actually challenging for the Ghana Premier League title.
In fact, they are playing against the defending champions.
Yeah.
And they also believe that they can still defend the league title. And this is a game that they need to win. No, all stars have been struggling, but if you want to survive, I'm sure that their main target this season is to survive. And what a coach to bring in, somebody who has so much experience with Bechem United, with Nation. Aside that, he's the head coach of the local Blasters. So he knows a lot about the local-based players in the league. So it's a very opportunity for them to have a coach like that. But already this season, the Bieni Gold Stars went to Suedo, got a point when Michael Nkwan scored 3 points, yes, when he scored in that particular game. So they are aiming to do the double. I don't think that he will be able to win this game. I feel that the Bieni Gold Stars are too good at home to come up with the 3 points.
Should he pull off a win, it will be massive, Shaban, because he's replacing Ahmed Fati, the Egyptian. He won some key games, though, before he departed.
Yes, he did so well. Last season at Nations FC, we all thought he was going to win the league, and eventually failed in the last minute. But from Bechem United in his first season, I remember in 2020-21, it was Kweku Danso who was in charge of Bechem United in the first round. In the second round, they brought in Kasim Mingo Kansi. At the end of the season, they managed to finish 7th place. The following season, 2021-22, they finished 3rd place. 2022-23, 3rd place. Then he signed for Nations FC. And when he went there, he also finished 7th place at the end of the season. And so, consistently, he is a top-notch gaffer with all the opportunity, with all the resources and the players available. He will be able to succeed and get them. But the first game looks so difficult for him, especially when Gold Stars in their last 2 games at home has ended in a draw against Mediama, against Kotoko, and that puts pressure on Gold Stars to go all out in fetching all the 3 points. But he needs to also start well. He shouldn't start like Pimpo Manson at
starting well is going to be difficult, especially when you are starting against BBN Gold Stars. But Alfred, your team has played Adriana and Samatex in recent times. Both teams will be coming up against each other in Doma. You have been in Doma, you won there. How do you think this one would go?
It's going to be a very cagey game. Samatex have a good side. The blend is super. Adriana, they've gained lots of momentum. Their confidence is high. Going to straight road to win 2-0. They don't have any option than to win that fixture.
Okay, so let's see how that one will go. But Baseke, Holy Stars would also be taking on Brekum Chelsea. Felix, your friend Samuel Buedu, Brekum Chelsea, it's been tough.
Very tough. Very tough. And like other teams, they also are struggling to have quality. They've also sold a lot of their players. So it would always be very difficult for any coach to work with a limited squad or a very smaller squad. It's quite surprising that he still has a job because results haven't really gone this way. But I'm sure that the owners of the club also know the situation that the coach finds himself in. But it's a very tough game. Holy Stars under Johnson Smith are playing very well, especially at home. So I'm expecting them to pick up the maximum points in that game.
Shaban, you are saying 11 Wonders are goners. They are coming up against Young Apostles.
Advantage for Young Apostles, and for 11 Wonders, like I said, total points, even before the start of the second round, we did the calculation, it was difficult. But they've lost some couple of points at home, and that makes it difficult for them to come back. Young Apostles struggling. They have a total of 23 points. They need these 3 points massively to jump to 26 points, depending on other results. They could be out of the relegation zone, the danger zone, after match day 21.
Well, it's Young Apostles against 11 Wonders, but as we know, 3 live games on TV3 and on your TV. Now we'll be doing the prediction, but before that, let's take a quick breather. Welcome back from that break. You're still watching the GPL build-up show here on TV3. Now we do the prediction before we check out of the studio. All these games are coming of this weekend, match day 21. I'll start with you, Shaban. Nations FC against Medium on Friday.
Nations FC win.
Then there's Heart of Lions Asante Kotoko, Alfred.
1-1.
1-1. Heart of Lions Asante Kotoko, Felix.
Lions to win.
Vision FC Dreams FC, Shaban.
Vision FC to win.
Felix, Heart of Folk Bichim United.
Hearts of Folk to win.
Karela against Hoho United, Alfred.
Let me do Go Stars.
Okay.
Hohoy to win.
Oh, okay. So Felix,
Hoho to
Karela, Go Stars to do All Blacks.
Go Stars win. 1-0.
Vision Dreams FC.
2-0 Vision.
Adriana against Samatex, Shaban.
Ediana to win.
Baseke Holy Stars will be playing Brekum Chelsea, Felix.
Holy Stars win.
Then there's Young Apostles 11 Wonders.
3-0.
3-0 to
Young Apostles.
So you're all writing off 11 Wonders. But, I mean, finally, would you say they are gone?
Yeah, they are gone. The magic number to survive is 45 points. If you look at teams that have survived, they've picked up a maximum of 10 wins in the season. We have 17 games to end the season. They've already
13 games.
How many games?
13 games.
13 games to end the season. 13 games. I doubt if they'll be able to win 8 out of the 13.
Well, let's see what happens with them. But there will be 3 live games on TV3 on your TV starting on Friday. Bediema will come up against Nations FC at Abrankese 3:30. Then on Saturday, it's Heart of Lions at Sante Kotoko. Big one at the Kwando Sports Stadium. Then we wrap up our coverage with Heart of Folk against Bechem United. My name is Mutalaya Akubu. Thanks to my guests, Mohammed Shaban, Alfred Nelson, and Felix Romak. Enjoy match day 21 and see you after that.